takasungwa, takasungwa, takasungwa Jesu, takasungwa, takasungwa, takasungwa Jesu, takasungwa, takasungwa, takasungwa Jesu, takasungwa, takasungwa, takasungwa Jesu. Sunungura, sunungura, sunungura Jesu, sunungura, sunungura, sunungura Jesu, sunungura, sunungura, sunungura Jesu, sunungura, sunungura, sunungura Jesu. Tuma Koronike 7 verse 14. Kana vanhu vangu vakatumidzwa nezita rangu rekunzima Kristo, vakazvininipisa, vakanyengetera nokutsvaga chiso changu, nokurega nzira dzavo dzakaipa, ipapo ndichanzwa ndiri kudenga, ndichavarapira nyika yavo. Haleluya. Vafundisi, udzai vanhu kuti nyika yaparara. Vafundisi, udzai vanhu.
Welcome, welcome, Zimbabweans. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for tuning in to this special edition and interview with Reverend. We have special guest today, Reverend 𝐍𝐲𝐢𝐤𝐚 𝐲𝐞𝐝 and 𝐾𝐲, who are here to talk about a new song and a new video that they've just released called 𝐍𝐲𝐢𝐤𝐚 𝐲𝐿𝐿. Welcome to Change Radio. My name is Sophia Tekwani. And please stay tuned with us for this informative and entertaining interview that is coming up of particular importance at this juncture in our lives as Zimbabweans, as we are all talking about the change that our country so badly needs. Tinokuchingamidzai, tinokugamuchirai vateereri, vadiwa vatareri, makonas ese mativi mana enyika, and tinokushingamudzai nhasi pachirongwa chedu chatiri kutaura naReverend 𝐍𝐲𝐢𝐤𝐚 naKuxman maererano nekambo kavo kanyowanikabva kavachangobura kanonzi nyika yedu yeZimbabwe. Tisati taenda mberi, ndingangodaidza here maybe Reverend Cliff naKuxman kuti mungochingamidza vateereri nevatariri vedu tisati tapinda muchirongwa.
Yes, thank you very much, Sophia. Yes, tingada kuchingamidza vateereri vese vakateerera tichiti kwaZiwai, greetings to you all viewers who are listening at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. I think admin kana tikakwanisa kuona maface awo zvingabatsira kuti vatariri vaonewo kuti vari kukwaziswa naReverend naKuxman. Yeah, much better.
Yes, so that was Reverend Cliff. Okay, that was Reverend 𝐍𝐲𝐢𝐤𝐚 talking, greeting everyone. In the Shona saying makadini mose kwaZiwai. Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sophia. Thank you very much, Reverend. Nini want to know makadini muri Zimbabwe. How are you, everyone? I'm very, very happy to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. Right, so the hot topic that we're talking about, the new release, Nyika Yedu yeZimbabwe. I'll start with you, Reverend. Can you tell us a little bit about this video, in particular, how you came about to say, let's sit down and talk to Kovsman and come up with this, very meaningful song and video at this particular point in our lives as Zimbabweans.
Yes, what I can just say is that being a Zimbabwean, born and grew up in Zimbabwe, well, I was born in 1970. So when Zimbabwe got its independence in 1980, I was 10 years old. That's what I can say. So I know, from 10 years when I grew up and how, the situation was like. So I remember those times when I was growing up and we used to buy bread 5 cents, at that time. We could afford to buy bread. And when I used to go to school, we used to afford it really. When you go to school, you need half bread to survive at school. So we used, to afford that from 1980 and up to 1990. And then around 2000, things started to change. And then I, started to struggle with the situation in our country, really, for those changes, not for the good, but for the bad. So really, it's something that, has been going on in me, following the events in Zimbabwe, the challenges, the struggles that we are facing economically. Then as a minister, really, then I thought, where else can we go? We need to appeal to God. But in order for us to appeal to God, it's also good to show people what exactly is happening. So I also came across another documentary that was done in Zimbabwe, that you see some of the pictures that we have put together in this song that can tell a story, a real story on the ground, not fabrication, but what is happening, that people are now struggling. So our appeal in this song, we are just praying and appealing to God and also to people, because we know that God does not operate in a vacuum. God uses you and me. So when we say, that's where we talk about, how people should elect or select leaders. We are making it clear that if you make a big mistake to vote people who are bringing misery into our country, as we know, people who are stealing, people who are, killing people, who kill your own people, your friends, your families, then you are making a mistake. So when we pray, we don't just pray, but it should be prayer in action. So we are helping people in this video to say, look, this is what is on the ground. This is the country we have. We are praying for a better one, but we should also take action in this. So that's what I can say for now, briefly.
Thank you so much. But before I go to Mkoma Kovsman, Reverend, I want maybe just to ask you, just to take us a little bit back. I know you mentioned that you are Reverend 𝐸𝐿 and you were in Zimbabwe. And when Zimbabwe gained independence, you were 10 years old. I mean, you were old enough, you could see what was happening. And you could see what was happening, and you can tell those who were not there, like my young brother, look, we used to have milk and my buns that we were given. I remember because I was there.
Yes.
We used to get milk and buns at break time in school for free.
Yes. Yes.
And these are things that when we start talking and we start telling the generation that's here now, the AMA 2000, they don't understand. It's almost a lie because of the situation that the country is in right now. Can I ask you maybe just to go back a little bit, just to tell us about who Reverend 𝐸 Shanganya is, and how you ended up in ministry, and how you tie up ministry with the music, and also talking about sort of opening up the audience's eyes on what is going on and how we can change it or how we can improve it.
Right. Yes. So yes, going back, like I said, I was born in, way back, when Zimbabwe was 10 years old from its independence. That means I was born in 1970. So I was born in Marondera, in Soshe village, where most people, they know the area of about being an area, what they call Hondo Minda. That's all the Jambanja started, when people started to fight for land and reclaiming, land illegally, if I may put it that way, because that was not done in a proper way anyway, although it was a good thing to have land that way. So that's where I was born and grew up in Soshe Marondera. Right. So I was born in a family of 10 of us. Yes, we are 10 of us. So we are 2 boys, 7 girls, really. So being born in the Soshe area, I grew up there and went to school there. I did my primary and secondary school there. Then I finished, I graduated. Then I felt really that God was calling me to serve, as a minister. And I went to theological training in 1996. Then finished my training in 1999 and started serving as a minister in Masvingo. So when all the problems started to do with the land issue in Zimbabwe, I was in Masvingo and I could see what was happening. And then I felt, God challenging me, because when I was now a minister at that time, I started to experience some challenges with the members of the church, members of the congregation. Most of the people are saying, well, church and politics should be separate. Then that's when I felt God calling me strongly in that area to help people understand that you can't separate that. What you can only do is to say, well, there are people there who are actively involved, but they must be accountable, right? So who can help them? Who can challenge them? It's us as Christians. But for us to say church and politics, church should stay away from politics, that's wrong. Because church, we are not talking of an organization somewhere, but we are talking of people who go to church. So we are the people. Even if you read the Bible, it says, on you, Jesus said, on you, Peter, I will build my church, meaning to say, I am the moving church. So if you say church and politics, church should be quiet, should not talk about politics, that's very wrong. That's why Nyika yedu yaenda kumawere as we speak, because I know Zimbabwe is like, if not 99 or 100% a Christian country. Meaning to say all the people who are in Zimbabwe are church people. They go to church. So if you say the church must be silent, you are saying everyone in Zimbabwe should be quiet. So I'm trying to help people here that don't make that mistake, because we are the people, right? So when it comes to vote leaders, who lead us, it's us who should choose the right people. So tikavhotera mbavha isusu nesuwo tiri mbavha. tikavhotera mhondi nesuwo tiri mhondi regardless kuti tinoswera takapfeka makola like me samupfundisi tinoona ndichifamba takapfeka magemenzi ewhite tichiunganira mbavha nemhondi tichiti pamberi nadzo, we are saying pamberi nekuzviuraya nekuzvidestroya pachedu, because those guys should be accountable, because isu ndisu tinoswera nebhaibheri rinotidzidzisa kuti thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not do this. So this is me really there following, journeying with the church. So I was struggling because I could see when I have a time, maybe mazoe kuvota, when people are voting, they come to my church. Those days when the government has announced that you should vote on a Sunday, then I see my church full. I ask people, have you been to, registering to vote or voting? They say, oh, no, it's not for us. It's not. Then I said, hang on there, hang on. Why are you saying this? So I used to say to my church, to my congregation, okay, today I'm going to have a very short service. Then we all go and register to vote. Then we all go and vote. Because we are part and parcel. We can't separate ourselves, because the same supermarket where those people you say should be politicians, where they go to buy bread, that's the same supermarket we also go to buy the same bread that is expensive. So why are we creating, life that is expensive ourselves? So this is the story behind all this. This is my journey, which is I've sort of traveled trying to help people that, look, we are making mistakes ourselves. And I've listened to some people, preaching, ministers like me preaching on the other scripture in the Bible that says, if my people, if my people who are called by my name, pray, stop doing all those things which are not good, I will hear and heal their land. Then I have asked them, why do you preach that? Why do you pinpoint other people outside the church to say God is saying, he is talking to people who are not church people? He is talking to his people called by his name. He is talking to reverends, bishops, my apostle, my prophet, to say, Isusu tikatsarukana, Isusu who are called by his name. If we do the right thing at the right time, then God will heal our land. So this is the story. This is where I am. If you follow all my videos, they are on this channel. They will tell that story, which I'm trying to communicate. So I may talk. Maybe I responding through questions. If people, listeners, can ask, that will shorten the story, but this is it. This is my story. This is where I am. Grew up in an area that grabbed the land which they ended up, let me tell you a story that happened to my area. After getting all the farms, the only achievement was for us to steal the fence, because there were paddocks around those farms. So what we managed to do the achievement was stealing the fencing, then it's now a bare land, stealing ourselves from what we grabbed from the white people. Then we started stealing. We used to take mombe kuma paddocks. This now no foods. Money to pay for people who can look after, our goats and cattle. Why? Because there are no paddocks. We store everything ourselves that we grabbed. So what we managed to do, the achievement, is just grabbing what was there, grabbing the wheat which was already ripe there, harvested it. When we chased the whites away, harvested it, then that was all. There's nothing going on. I've been there home to see if there is anything going on the ground, nothing. So that's why I'm saying, if my people called by God's name change our attitude of not voting thieves into power, then Zimbabwe will go back to its normal position where it used to be called the bread basket of Africa.
But Reverend, from a church's point of view, a lot of people will come and then ask the important question that, are we getting enough from your fellow men of the cloth in terms of when they get up, when they're on the pulpit? Are they telling congregations to go and register to vote? Are they telling the congregations that, you know, we need to improve our country? Or maybe they are driven by fear as to what will happen. But if we look at other countries in Africa, I mean, if we look at Rwanda before the genocide, it was the church
Yes.
that was leading. If we look at even Zambia to some extent, the church has been very vocal. If we look at apartheid South Africa, we had the late Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who was actually leading, and the youths were getting guidance from them and other clergy that, you know what, it's time to rise up and it's time to do that. Where are we missing it in Zimbabwe that our clergy, our reverends, our priests, our bishops, even Anamadzibaba, are not coming on board to, you know, to help move us in the direction where we can see a better Zimbabwe for everyone? Just in short, before I go into to over to Mkoba Cooksman.
Right. Yes. The problem is you have touched the issue of fear, right? Which we may call fear, the fear of the unknown, right? Fear is contributing. That's number one. I don't blame people. You know, we are different, right? It takes courage. Even if you read in the Bible, you look at those guys, the disciples, they were different, you know, in their approaches, in how God was calling them. So it's about fear, right? That's another thing. Then secondly, there is this message that goes around, which I talked about earlier on, to say, no, church should be quiet, right? And because people have failed to define what church is, you see, they say, even the government say the church should speak as a church, as a body, right? When they say body, they are saying Zimbabwe Council of Churches, right? Because when they say Zimbabwe Council of Churches, they are talking of a grouping, you know, that sends a letter, you know, to say this is what we are saying as a church, right? And yet individuals under that board are corrupt, are not telling the truth, but they are under that umbrella. Some of them, if you know very well, some of them, they are already bribed, right? They have been given also funds illegally, if we may say that. Yes, we have people like reverends who have been bribed also, who are silent because of that. I don't blame them anyway, because there's a reason why they are doing that. But I'm just pinpointing what is happening. That's the problem we have. So we think church is something there, not individuals. Because if we were individuals, it starts with me as a leader, a pastor, to encourage people. Now let us respect the president has announced the date for elections, right? It is a sin for us not to respond and not to go, right, and register to vote, because we build our nation ourselves, you see. So we don't blame the president by announcing the date. It must be clear. Therefore, go and register to vote. Then the minister must add on top of that. When you are now voting, let me remind you as a minister, mbavane monde adzivoterwe, right? That should come from a minister who preaches the word of God that says, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, right? So you are a custodian of what is sacred as a minister. You represent that.
You are a steward.
Exactly. So tell your congregation, Yes, this is the time for us. We thank the president of the country for giving us the opportunity to choose who should lead us. So the ball is in our hands. What does the Bible tell us? If we need peace, there must not be killers leading us, thieves leading our country, because the thieves, when they are given the opportunity, see what they do. You choose someone in the minister who doesn't have the heart for people, but for himself or herself. The next thing, kwenda kunomora gold nekuriburitsa munyika. I mandate with the mandate of those people who voted him or her in power, right? So he is using you who voted him, including bishops and the prophets. You get what I mean? Who did not do their part. So I'm saying, do your part. Then after you have said what you have said, faith in action, you also a minister, you go and do your part. You make sure when you are voting the right person. I'm not saying vote for MDC or vote for CC or vote for ZANU-PF. I'm saying voting for the right candidate, right? Who fears God, regardless which party, right? Because if they come together, if they are ZANU or CC, they come together and they are like-minded, they fear God, they run the parliament with peace, they run the government with peace and honesty. You get what I mean? Yes, regardless of their affiliations, where they are coming from. But the problem is in our hands. Like I said, Zimbabwe is 100% a Christian country. So where are we? What are we saying as Christians? We have become liars in front of God and people. We are not telling the truth, because the word of God says it's only the truth that shall make us free. So if you go in the polling booth and you lie, you vote for a thief, you vote for a killer, it's not truth that will make you free. You will remain in bondage because you have failed to speak the truth in the ballot or in your prophet. Right? So this is where the issue is. The church should take its rightful position. And when I say the church, I'm not saying United Methodist or Anglican or Apostle. I'm saying a Christian, a believer, every Christian under whatever umbrella of the church must take his or her rightful position of fearing God. Kana hanzvadzi yangu inini ari minister, ari tsotsi, I can't vote for her simply because he hanzvadzi yangu. No. We must learn to tell the truth. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, I must tell my brother what you are doing is wrong. Yes, tell her, I didn't vote for you because your policies are not for people. Yes, but that is not the, at this Kuraya Ukama, we see it to be brothers and sisters, Ukama, we operate, no. I'm saying you must be a representative, a public representative who speaks the truth, because you have the mandate of the people who voted you, but you are lying. Yes, let us be honest with each other. Yes.
Yeah. I think Zimbabweans, you know what, Tangoshins, we don't take Mashoko, a reverend. And it's up to us to listen to his words and to take exactly what he's saying, because there are, words of wisdom coming out there. And I think there's a few other reverends that, are very supportive and have been very vocal. We've got my reverends, my priests, my pastors, a few weeks ago. Later, a prayer in Zimbabwe. Yes, a prayer. You go and you pray for the nation, and then they are arraigned. I think they're still, going to court as we speak right now. Yes. They're still being arraigned in my courts to make my appearances. But these are a few that are coming out and are being brave and are leading the way and, to walking the talk. Yes. So, we have leadership that, we can draw from, and it's very encouraging. And I would like to encourage the other church leaders as well, not just the priests, but also the church leadership, the councils, the wardens as well, to speak and to register, to encourage the congregants to register and do the right thing in Zimbabwe. But Reverend, yes, I just want you to hang on there for a bit. Okay. Before we go, admin to name, Tine video here that I would like to introduce Ngoma Cooksman to start speaking on. If the admin can hear us in the background. Ndanga ndichida kukumbira kuti timboona kuti zvakatangira papi chaipo chaipo patakatanga kufambidzana and when Ngoma Cooksman blew up.
Vana veZimbabwe vapfuma naivo vati nyangwe mapurisa apfuma naivo vati
All right, ngapinde yake mukomana. Ngapinde yake mukomana, which hit Zimbabwe by storm.
Vana vachidana muma aiwa
There we go. NHM, hashtag NHM, yakaita hashtag Ngoma Cooksman, and just making that whole thing just blow up, not only in Zimbabwe but globally. We had people walking on the streets wachita video who are not even Zimbabweans but supporters of the struggle. Wachiti ngapinde yake mukomana. Tell us, welcome Ngoma Cooksman again, welcome again. Tell us a bit about how that started and how that was for you ngapinde yake mukomana to this new project that you have launched now with Reverend Shanganya. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Sophia. Ndiri kuremerwa kuti nditaure after Reverend vataura mashoko akadzama chaizvo. Ndanda kungoshuwa hangu kuti nditerere vachitaura. So anyway, inini ndiri munhu like anenge akangosikwa here, hamene ndotaura sekudaro. Ndichingori nechidokwa chekudawo, like kana ndine chinhu chandinenge ndada kana ndatochida ndinotoshingirira zvakasimba. Saka nyaya yeshanduko muZimbabwe inyaya yandinoshuvira zvakanyanyisa nguva zhinji, zvekuti ndinoona vanhu vakawanda vanofungidzira kuti maybe ndinotobhadharwa neCCC kuti ndiite zvandinoita, but it's just because I really want change. And ndakagara pasi ndikatarisa ndikaongorora mapolitical parties atinawo ese, ZANU-PF, ndikatarisa kumashure uko tatine yanga iri MDC navaMorgan Tsvangirai. I had so much hope in him, may his soul rest in peace, but unfortunately I have witnessed a lot of bloodshed when my father Morgan Tsvangirai was still alive. People were beaten, people were killed because they were supporting a MDC led by Morgan Tsvangirai. Then after vaenda baba vaTsvangirai, takachizovana vachamisa. Saka ndakatarisa ndikaona kuti hapanazve rimwe bato kana mumwe mutungamiri achagona kutisunungura muZimbabwe, nekuti vamwe vese havasi serious. Saka muchiona ndichitsigira vachamisa nekuti ndine tariro yakasimba mavari. Saka chakaitwa ndechekuti panguva yakabuda statement rekuti ngapinde yake mukomana ndakariona richitrenda paTwitter. Then hapeno zvakangoyawo mupfungwa dzangu. Ndaiteerera hangu song yaSebastian Magaja yekuti tomudana Mwari tomudana, tokwidza makomo tomudana. That was the song that I was listening to. Then something came into my mind. Then I thought, but I can make up something out of this tune. and hamene zvakazongoitika ipapapo ndakatozongoona ndatozobuda nesong ndangoirekodhawo those days, you know. Honestly, I was struggling neupenyu ndiri kuSouth Africa, ndandabva kuZimbabwe, basa raramba, sandai munhu aiswera ari pamba ndichifunganya, then uchiona zvinenge zvichiitika kumusha and all that. So like nguva yangu zhinji ndaipedzera pakutarisa zvinenge zvichiitika mumastreets sekutaura kunoita vechidiki. Ndo pandakazoona statement roro richitendera, then I created that song. I had all the time because I was staying at home, ndaisashanda. So ndakangoiposta. I never expected it kuti ingaita a hit song, but then ndakazoona ndongo vanhu vakutondifonera vanondiziva, iwe ndiwe wakaita song iyi, ndiwe wakaita song iyi, ndiwe wakaita song iyi. That's how it was, and you know, that's how the journey started. Like I had done one before, Nobody Can Stop Nero, but aina kuita mawaves akanyanya sangapi ndake mukomana. So actually people like 𝐍𝐲𝐢𝐤𝐚 and I remember Simba Chikanza, those were the people who were pushing most of my stuff. Like those days ndaizotongonzwa noti taona wapostwa naHopewell, taona wapostwa naPazimai, tazoona zvadai. So you know, I started believing kuti at least maybe, because I really wanted, like inini I've got a passion of doing music. So back then I tried zvese zvandaikwanisa kuti ndiite kuti ndirekode, to the extent yekuti ndaigona kumbonoitawo zvimabasa zvangu, ndowana mari ndoenda kustudio. Mari yayonopera warekodha song, hausina mari yekuita video, hausina mari yekuti maybe uwane promotion, ukadainisa kumaradio station nenyaya dzecorruption dziri munyika, vanhu vachida mari madj acho. Saka ndakaona hangu kuti nechido chandinacho chemusic, kutoti nditove successful, tinofanira kunge tine a very, I mean, competent government inogona kuzosimudzirawo the entertainment industry, you know, the arts industry. Saka ndo pandinonyanya kumira ndiri semuimbi ndichiti ayo, ininiwo semuimbi ndinodawo budiriro, ndinoziva kuti ndikatsikisawo nziyo dzangu munyika ine vanhu vanosenza, vanokwanisa kunotengawo music yangu, vanokwanisa ndikaitawo show vanouya. Right now mukaona kana chero viewership yemusic yangu chaya music, like a lot of people were asking me about this other song that I've done inonzi Samatenga. Vanozototi vainzwa ichirira vozototi ko song yakatsikiswa rino, vana vepinga ndateita ipapo. It's only now because maybe ndinombopota ndichitaurwa apo neapo, asi kumashure uko waigona kuisa song igoita 3 views. It's not because it's because of the situation that's in Zimbabwe, because honestly the only people that are able to afford kunoenda pa YouTube vachinoona mavideos vanhu vari kudiaspora. I've been home about a week, 2 weeks ago. Vanhu vekumusha havana data rekuenda pa Facebook, havawane data rekuenda pa YouTube, and those are the people ndinofanira kundisapota, because ndeifanira kuenda kwaChipinge, ndeifanira kuenda kuGoromonzi, ndeifanira kuenda kupi, ndokwanechita mashows, and those are my fans, and those people there's no way they can support me when things are as they are right now. Vanhu vanongomukira sadza vodya zvesadza manheru, sadza makuseni, sadza manheru, ndo upenyu. Saka zvinhu zvinondirwadza kuti hapana imwe nzira yatinokwanisa, tichapedzisira takuti munhu ane chipo chekuimba anozonoita building, anonoita welding. Zvatiri kuona kuti vanhu vakatora madhigirii ekuita zvehameno kana lese pexample zvefinance vakupedzisira kunobika sadza, vamwe vakuzopedzisira vakuya kuSouth Africa vakushandiswa nemaindi. Zvinhu zvinondirwadza. Saka zvichindirwadza kudaro, ndinoda kuti neimwe nzira nditende Mwari. Hameno zvinongozondigara, dzimwe nguva ndinotomboti vanhu vakandionesa, especially mabereki vangu neshamwari nehama, kuti zvinhu zvauri kuita zvinourayisa. Ndozvitarisawo zveshuwa, ndofunga vanaitaidza mari vakangonyangarika, ndofunga vana More Blessing Ali akachekwa. Sometimes you sit and you think, I'm going to die, maybe, I don't know, but I just want to thank God. He gives me all the courage and he makes me brave, and it's not like I don't know, it's not like I'm special, but ndoda ngoramba ndidzosera mbiri kuna Mwari, because ndo anondifundisa kuti whatever that I do, whatever that I say, because it's very, very difficult. You all know what Zambia has done. So that's all I can say.
Aiwa, ndinoda kuramba ndingotenda as well Mukoma Cooksman Reverend for the huge job and the huge sacrifice that you are making. Nevamwe vakaita semi vanongoramba vachingotaura, like a voice in the wilderness, kuti there must be change in Zimbabwe. There must be, people must have a life of dignity. And ndoda kungoramba ndingokutendai nekukushingisai kuti murambe muri pabasa ramuri kuita, because ibasa rakaoma, it's not easy, but somebody has got to do it. And I just want to thank you for all the efforts that you've been making. They are very much appreciated. One day Tinoshika, and one day very soon Tinoshika, where we are supposed to be going. I don't know, admin, there's a short clip that you had Yevana Vanavadiki Wakushanda in South Africa at the moment we told video. I think it was sometime today or yesterday.
Daniel. All right. Muno mu South Africa wakauya kuzoite muno. Uri kushanda basa rei? Uri kufudza mombe? All right. And then iwe unonzani?
Indonzi Johan.
Johan ani?
Chipanera.
Muno mu South Africa wakauya kuzodini?
Ndakauya kufudza mombe.
Saka utori pabasa so? Mire muri chua. Saka munopiwa mari pamwedzi? Muri 2?
1,121.
Saka mukapiwa 1.1 munoishandisei maki?
Totenga zvekupfeka, chikafu, inodzoka.
Saka alright, mune chishuwo here chekuda kudzokerawo kunyika yenyu kana ichinge yanaka?
Ya, tine chishuwo kana mari yapo.
Nyika yenyu kuri kuti maenda kuzovhota kuZimbabwe, mungavhotera Mnangagwa here kana kuti munovhotera Chamisa?
Ndikatovhotera Chamisa.
Muvhotera Chamisa? Iwewe ke?
Chamisa.
Mnangagwa ke?
Hawa Mnangagwa ana musoro ya.
Alright, hapana.
Yeah, this is for me as a mother. Munoona mwana wangu mudiki age yevana ivavavo. And for me as a mother, this touches me because I see my son achitaura vachita zvekuita vana ivavavo. And look at the age yevana vafunga kuti ngaticrossei border tiende kuSouth Africa kunowana basa rekufudza mombe, because kumusha hakuna chikafu, hakuna chikoro, hakuna maschool uniform, hakuna mabhuku. These are the things that ana Reverend, when you talk about nyika yedu muchichema muvideo varume vakuru. Mukoma Cooksman, ndakuona just now a few minutes ago muchitaura kuti you had tears in your eyes. These are the things zvekuti zvinobata vana veZimbabwe. And I want to thank you, both of you, for this song that you have released. These are the reasons why we're crying. Vana 7, 8 years old, 9 years old, barely 10 years old, who are thinking of crossing the border, going to another country, searching for greener pastures. Because pakadaro unotoona mai vanenge vatotadza kuprovide for mwana, baba vatokoniwa. Mwana atoona kuti beta panapa ndiende ndinofudza hangu mombe kuSouth Africa ndiwane mari yechikafu ndiwane hembe. Ene mukataza hembe dzavakapfeka dzacho, it's nothing special. But mwana ane 9 years old, 8 years old, afunga kuti rega ndijambe border ndiende ndinoedza kuzviimprovira life. Zvinhu zvatadza kuitwa nemapoliticians, sitting politicians are in our country right now. All they can think about is filling their own bellies, is taking their own children to overseas universities and abusing the young girls. That happens, not going into controversial details, but the abuse is there. We had our former vice president resigning, caught up in storms like that. This is all they can think about. They cannot think about the majority, the future generation. Now, tikasataura mukasaimba zvenyika yedu yeZimbabwe like what you have done, if no one comes out and speaks in the open, what is going to happen to the future generations in this country? I shudder to think. But I just want to keep on encouraging you and to thank you, especially Nana Bishop Anselmo Magaya as well, Reverend Cliff Cooksman. Rambai makadzvanya, rambai makashinga, rambai muchita zvamunoita. Musabvuma kutyisidzirwa, musabvuma kuvhundutsirwa. Because soon and very soon, I tell you, there will be a change of fortunes in Zimbabwe. But before we go, I just want to give Reverend Cliff an opportunity, maybe just 2-3 minutes, just to give us a few closing words. Tisatenda kuna Mukoma Cooksman.
Okay, thank you, Sophia. Well, what I can just say to my fellow Zimbabweans is that we are the people. Tisu anhu acho. Tisu vanhu vacho vanokwanisa kuvaka Zimbabwe. We are the people who can build our nation. We are the people who can destroy our nation. When I'm saying this, I'm also including the Christian community, my fellow pastors and bishops, prophets, whoever is representing God, every Christian who has the name called Christian. What I'm saying is we are the people who can destroy our nation. We are the people who can build our nation. So let us all come back and join hands and start now to do the right thing at the right time. We can preach like we do every day, but God does not operate in a vacuum. He uses you and me. So God is saying, if my people called by my name, stop doing what we are already doing, which is not the right thing. Voting in people who are heartless in God, voting in thieves, killers, murderers. We are not doing the right thing. God will remain, will stand there watching, because he says, if my people do the right thing, I will hear and heal their nation. I hope this time around we send the message, fundis, my bishops, to our congregations, to our people, that this is now the time to do the right thing as God is calling us to do, to choose God-fearing people into power. Those who are not God-fearing, we are just kuvavenga, but we are helping them to repent so they can change next time. If they come back, change the people, they can still be voted back into power. If they were MPs last time and vakaba matsotsi, if they were councillors, kana vakanga vari ma-president who have been given the opportunity and they did not deliver, let us deliver them out of the temptation yekuramba vachiita zvavari kuita by not voting them. It's not a sin to vote out vanhu vari kutirwadzisa. It is a sin to continue to vote in vanhu vari kutirwadzisa. I hope my message is louder and clear. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rev. Mukoma Cooksman, your closing 2 minutes.
Well, inini pane chinhu chinongondibata pamwoyo wangu because I've noticed that the youth have given up on Zimbabwe, and I wish that all the young people should, revisit their thinking and understand that Zimbabwe is our country. Zimbabwe is not for Zambia. Zimbabwe is not for politicians. Zimbabwe is not for political parties. Zimbabwe is for Zimbabweans. All of us, we've got inindina sekuru akafira kuhondo. And I believe everyone akarata kutrace history yemhuri yake ane imwe hama yakacontributa pakuuya kwerusununguko rwedu senyika yeZimbabwe. So this thing of having ZANU-PF saying that hakuna munhu achatonga Zimbabwe because vanhu vanoenda kuhondo, it's just nonsense. And I wish all the youth should understand that we can never make it tichiza nyika yedu tichienda kunoshandira kune dzimwe nyika. Tikuda kuti tigadzirise nyika yedu. Tise maleaders atinokwanisa kuita, atinokwanisa kuholda accountable kana akaita zvinhu zvatisingadi. Ndozvatiri kuda izvozvo. Saka ndiri kungokurudzira mayuthi kuti ngatikurudziranei. Ndakagara ndichitaura kana vasingakwanisi kuenda kumusha, we know zvinhu zvakaoma. Vazhinji vari kunyika, especially ndotaura seSouth Africa senyika yandiri. Vamwe havakwanisi kuenda kumusha because mabasa avanoshanda havapi mari dzakawanda. but people must normalize kuti pese pavanenge vaita madiscussions nehama dzavo nemhuri dzavo, dzidzisai hama dzenyu, kurudzirai hama dzenyu kuti dzirejiste kuvhota. At least kana usina kukwanisa enda kunorejista kuvhota, just try and make sure that 2-3 people have registered to vote. Just send them money kuti vakwanise kuendawo kupolling, registration center iri padhuze vonorejista kuvhota. Tese tivhote, timbovhotera hurumende itsva. I believe any right-minded person can agree that ZANU-PF can no longer do anything for us. It's better we try new things. We try Nelson Chamisa and his leadership. We see what they can do for us. I believe if they cannot deliver what we want, we still have that right to vote them out. Because so people must understand this. We have to change the narrative. We have to change everything about politics. It mustn't be politicians deciding for us, but it must be us deciding who should lead us. So that's my word to the young people. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nkoma Cooksman. I know we have so much to talk about, and we could stay until tomorrow because there is so much to talk about. But unfortunately, our time has come, and Chininge Chakwata Chatruka, and it's almost time for us to go. But I just want to, if we can pin the YouTube channel, Reverend Cliff Shanganya. It's Reverend Cliff and Christine Shanganya, and also Cooksman Music. So to all our listeners and viewers, if you go and support and share those links, share those videos, subscribe to their channels, support, and let's get the message out. Let's do that as Zimbabweans. Takawanda supported this movement, supported this idea and this cause. There it is, Reverend Cliff and Christine Shanganya. That's the YouTube channel where you can go and view the latest music video from Reverend Cliff Shanganya and Cooksman, 𝐲𝐞𝐝𝐻 Zimbabwe. So thank you so much for joining us, viewers and listeners. It's been wonderful talking to you and just sharing ideas and listening to Reverend Cliff Shanganya and Cooksman as they talk about their lives and the situation in Zimbabwe and their new music video, 𝐲𝐞𝐝𝐻. I want to thank as well, a special thank you to those behind the scenes. Leader Telsai, thank you so much for being with us and for the technical work that you're doing in the background. But stay tuned to Change Radio. Listen and be with us. There's a lot of entertaining, informative programs and news coming up. Thank you so much for myself, Sophia Tekwani, and the rest of the crew behind the scenes. It's a very, very good night. And remember to register and vote. Remember to register and vote. Thank you so much. Good night. I think if we can have that 𝐲𝐞𝐝𝐻 video as we're closing.